Hello there, Weber here, and today I'm going to be showing you a mod called the Archimedes Ships mod, and what this basically does is enable you to control any ship or raft or whatever you want to build on the ocean really, so you could even control like a massive skyscraper, although there is a limit of 16 by 16 blocks, so it'd be kind of a short skyscraper, but you could do that if you really wanted to. But anyway, to craft the ship marker, which is the main block that you're going to need for this, you're going to need 4 wood planks, 4 sticks, and an iron ingot, and then you craft yourself the ship marker. And as I said, the ship marker is required to turn any of your creations into things you can actually move. And there's also another thing that you might want, and this is the measurement gauge. And the measurement gauge can be used to like show you the direction you're moving and the speed you're going. So another kind of useful thing, but it's not actually required to control the boat. So now to craft this, you're going to need 2 gold ingots, 2 iron ingots, a redstone, and 2 glass panes. And then you can craft yourself a measurement gauge. So if we go over here to my little basic raft, you can of course build something much more elaborate than this. Like over there I've built a whole ship, which is within the 16 by 16 chunk limit. Well, it's the size of a chunk, the block limit. Anyway, to actually convert your creation into something you can control, you just place down the ship marker here, and you can also then place down the measurement gauges wherever you want on the craft, although I like to put it conveniently on top of the ship marker, so you can easily see it when you're controlling the ship, because you can't actually move around while you're controlling the ship. So anyway, you just want to crouch and then right click to place this down on top of the block, and there you can see the little dials there showing you the speed and direction you're facing. So anyway, if we just right click on the ship marker now, you can see that we've floated up a bit, and that means we're now in control of the ship. And to control, all you need to do is use the WAS and D keys, and there's a squid down there just minding his own business. Oh well. So anyway, just let's go forward. You can see the speed dial is going slightly more upwards like there, and should keep increasing until we hit the maximum speed, which I think is 144 kilometers an hour. So if you reach that speed, that's one big ocean, and you got really unlucky with train generation. But there you go. And this one isn't moving because this just simply points to the direction that north is. So the red bit points to north and the grey bit points to south. So North Pole, South Pole, that kind of thing. And these 3 dials don't currently have a use yet, but in the future they might have a use. So there we go, and now you can see we're going really fast. And then to slow down before you hit an island, you just like press the crouch key and then the craft will stop. So that's pretty much everything. You can actually have multiple ship markers per craft or boat or whatever you want to call it. So I could place one down over there. Well, I've just got off now because to get off you just right click, and then you can place one down over there and get in this one and you'll be able to control it the other way. So it's a good way of like you know, going backwards without having to turn the ship. Bit lazy really, I could have just turned it around, but nope, not happening today. And then we can make our way back and I can show you the actual ship I've built over there, and just showing you the limits of this mod and things you can do with it. So now I'm just going to give you an example of some of the things you can actually control using the ship marker. So over here we've got myself a nice boat that I built, and it's within the limit. I think it's exactly 16 blocks long and about 14 blocks tall, so it's just within the limits. And down here we've actually got a chest, and this is just to demonstrate that if you have items in a chest they will transfer as you move. So let's just fly up here to my controlling area for the captain, and if I just right click here, you can see that I'm actually controlling the boat. And I have sunk down a bit because of the physics and the fact that the boat is very heavy at the top, so it's going to sink down a bit. So that's kind of a neat feature that's actually kind of realistic. And then you can see I can control it fully, and if I stop now, you can see that my torches have remained and stayed in the same place, and also down here the chest and the items are still there, so you can use this as a mass transportation kind of system. So instead of having to make loads of boat trips with a full inventory and plonk your stuff in the new base, you could just use this and then fill up a storage ship with like 30 double chests and then transfer it across the ocean in one clean sweep really, and then just unload it when you get to the other side. So really cool. But there you go. So this mod also adds 2 blocks called the floater and the balloon, and the floater is only required when you use the advanced physics option, or advanced floating physics option in the config file of the mod, and this will just make the craft and the boats you create more realistic physics wise. So if you make it heavy on the one side, it will probably like sink to the right side or something like that. But there you go. And the balloon item is actually currently only aesthetic, but in the future it will be used to make things like airships which you can actually control and fly around in the sky. And the more balloons you have, maybe the higher you'll go and stuff like that. So over here I've just used the balloon box as a aesthetic kind of thing, and made myself a hot air balloon with a nice balloon using the air balloon blocks like that. And to craft these 2 items, I forgot to mention, to craft the floater you're going to need an oak wood block and a wool block, and to craft the air balloon you're going to need wool and string like that. And at the moment, if you controlled this, you're just going to like go forward and then sink into the water, which isn't very helpful. Actually, we might try this out because it's kind of funny. So you can see, currently we are kind of flying in quotation marks. Well, we're more like hovering over the surface because I've used half slabs instead of normal blocks. But as soon as we get over the water, we're probably going to sink right to the bottom because it's very top heavy. So if we go down here, you soon see we're going to sink. No! Okay, that was a terrible drowning impression. But there we go. So we can just get out now, and I've just sunk my air balloon. Brilliant! I'm awesome. Not. Anyway, there we go. So there's one sunken hot air balloon. Probably not wise to do that yourself. But anyway, I also want to show you that you can actually make crafts that like float on the lava in the nether. So now we're going to go into the nether and I can show you that. So here we go. So here we are in the nether, and in front of me you can see like a primitive ship kind of thing, and it's on top of lava, and now we can actually control it and ride around in a ship in the nether. So you can cross the lava rivers, well not rivers, lava oceans, and then get around the nether really fast. And you can see that the compass dial is going absolutely crazy because of course the nether has no north and south poles, so that's why that's happening. But there you go, and you can see my speed dial is working. And I also forgot to mention that the ships are affected by flowing lava and stuff like that. So you can see I'm having a really hard time getting away from this because I've got disrupted lava here. I'm not sure I can get out of this, but the point still stands. You can actually make boats in the lava, and I appear to be glitched in the flowing bit, which is not very helpful. So there are also commands you can use while controlling a ship. So if you just get on the ship here and then type something as we're moving, like AS-info, it's going to tell me some information about the ship. So there we go, it's going to say position, speed and stuff like that, so you can use that information if you really want to. And you can also type something called AS-align, and this will align my ship to the grid like that. You can see we've popped backwards a bit, so we're actually on a whole block instead of half on one and half off one. And this makes like parking up when you're coming into shore or something really easy, because if you're coming in at an angle you can just type that and you'll pop straight into the grid and you'll be able to like stop really easily, so you don't have any errors when you're trying to like leave the ship or anything like that. You can also forcefully dismount the ship by typing AS dismount like that, and once you do that it's going to automatically kick you out of the ship, and so you're not controlling it anymore. And this is really useful if you're like glitched into the ship and you can't leave when you right click or anything like that, and you really want to leave but you can't, so you can just use that command and get out, and it'll try and align it to the grid the best it can, and if it can't you might lose some blocks, but nothing too serious. And also there's a command which is /AS destroy, and then you type the radius, so like 10, and it should destroy any ships within a 10 block radius, but it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. It might work for you, but there you go. So that's pretty much all the commands, and thank you for watching. This again is the Archimedes ships mod, and I definitely recommend you test this out because you can build some really awesome stuff and then move it around the ocean, and it's really practical as well. So yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next mod video.